Somehow, some way, the Brendan Sorsby situation just got way more complicated. The NFL just shut down his attempt to join the league in 2026. If you don't know this, Brendan Sorsby, after he was denied eligibility for the upcoming year and his failed attempts to fight for eligibility and to sue his way into being able to play at Texas Tech this upcoming year, he petitioned to enter the upcoming supplemental draft. The NFL has to accept that petition. They have to make it clear that they're willing to take Brendan Sorsby on and that NFL teams are interested in selecting him. Well, the NFL decided after this petition, they decided to say, you're not coming into the league right now. There is too much out there and not enough time for the NFL to properly evaluate his very complex situation of having gambled when he wasn't supposed to be and having gambled on his own team when he was a member of that team. Now, we're not going to relitigate all of the stuff that he did previously when this whole saga went down. I want to talk about what the NFL said to him. There was a letter that was sent to Sorsby in his camp, and it really goes to show how bad this whole process has been handled by Sorsby and his representatives. I'm talking about Rob Slavin, who's his agent, who tried to point the finger at everybody else after everything in this transition to the NFL. This is the full letter. I want to read this entire thing. We are in receipt of your petition for special eligibility dated June 16, 2026. As announced earlier today, the league has elected not to conduct a supplemental draft this year. Under our collective bargaining agreement, the league retains sole discretion to determine whether it's appropriate to conduct a supplemental draft in any given year. Moving ahead on this letter, your petition filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions, does not provide a basis for the league to alter those plans. The issues presented by your petition are too significant and too closely tied to the league's core integrity interest to permit meaningful review within the timeline presented. So that's the key thing that I'm bringing up here, where it states that there was not enough time to do a meaningful review. They tried to sneak this thing in at the very last second before the deadline after they completely bungled everything that was going on with his fight and his lawsuit with the NCAA. I think that this would have gone a lot more differently had they not filed that lawsuit and understood that they lost. If they had decided to just simply move on and to file for the supplemental draft with an appropriate amount of time for the NFL to review it, it probably would have improved his chances. Another misstep that came through all this was that he went to rehab in an effort to prove that he had a gambling addiction. That's not going to work for the NFL having interest in him because he's going to be touching the ball every single play as a quarterback. The NFL does not want to trust a young player with an alleged gambling addiction if there's the possibility of him relapsing. Continuing on with the letter. The sole reasons identified in your petition for seeking entry into the supplemental draft are that you have been declared ineligible by the NCAA, have exhausted all of your avenues to continue in the NCAA, and want to now play in the NFL. The petition provides no information regarding the basis for or timing of the NCAA's decision. Public sources, however, indicate that in May 2026, the NCAA issued a determination declaring you permanently ineligible from participation in college athletics, based on a sustained pattern of improper gambling activity during your collegiate career at 3 different universities. So in this paragraph, the NFL is stating, hey, what you tried to do in your attempt to say, I would like to petition for the supplemental draft was not good enough. And it's a real shot at Sorsby. It's not the most scathing, which we're going to get to in a second, but it's a real shot at Sorsby and his camp saying, you can't just do something wrong that is regarded as unethical in every sport, regardless of level in the country. You can't just do that and then say, well, I can't play here now. I'd like to play for you. I'd like to just join your league. Next paragraph, the league does not have the complete record of the NCAA's investigation, and you did not provide any such materials with your petition available information. Nonetheless, indicates that over the course of your collegiate career, you knowingly engaged in repeated and significant violations of NCAA rules designed to preserve the integrity of athletic competition. Reported conduct includes placing wagers on your own team and teammates, and to avoid detection, establishing or funding accounts in the names of intermediaries who place bets on your behalf. There are also reports that you may have violated state criminal law. So that last sentence is one thing that has not been talked about enough in this. I wonder if the states, Ohio, Indiana, and also he was betting illegally in Texas, apparently. I wonder if any of those states do file criminal charges. That is something that we haven't brought up. It hasn't been talked about. What he did is not just a no-no. It's a criminal offense. It's a criminal offense. Not the betting in Ohio, probably, but the betting in Indiana was. And if he was betting when he was in the state of Texas, it's illegal to bet when he's in the state of Texas. But again, to reinforce what the NFL is saying here is that it was a haphazard job and almost lazy to a degree. Whatever they filed, whoever handled the filing here, mailed it in. Literally mailed it in. Just, they're going to accept him. They're going to take it. Who in his camp was this lazy that they should have gone above and beyond to build his case for this petition? And they half-assed it. It's dumbfounding how poorly they have handled this step by step throughout the entire process. Next paragraph, your petition does not address these matters, nor does it demonstrate accountability for your conduct or indicate whether or how you would adhere to the league's rules and policies governing the integrity of competition. Instead, even after receiving notice of the NCAA's decision rescinding your college eligibility in May, you sought to avoid the consequences of that determination through litigation rather than accepting responsibility for your actions, and you pursued entry into the NFL only after abandoning those efforts. As Commissioner Goodell has emphasized, participating in the NFL is a privilege that carries with it significant responsibilities, including accountability. By all accounts, you are a talented player with the potential for future success. We encourage you to focus on preparing for the possibility of entry into the NFL through the 2027 NFL Annual Draft. That is the most scathing statement that comes in this. And I was hoping the best for Brendan Sorsby after moving on, but good on the NFL for being this direct and saying there was no accountability from you. And what you did is something that is a serious concern for the NFL. We can't take you on if you're not going to take accountability for your actions. And this is another aspect that was missed upon by everything with the litigation that he tried to do at Texas Tech. By going that route and trying to avoid consequence for something that this is not a situation of pay for play or anything along those lines, or like the Terrell Pryor ordeal with the tattoos and the jewelry and all that stuff that happened at Ohio State when he entered the supplemental draft. It's not like that at all, where they were doing something that was at the time deemed illegal that would go on to become an important part of the sport with NIL. It's not like that at all. What he did is recognized as something that is the biggest no-no in all of sports that you just can't do, betting on your own team. You can't do it. No matter how you want to try to shape how this looks in your mind, it is not something that is going to be permitted. And the fact that he didn't acknowledge his mistake and just tried to skate past and move on, the NFL completely torched him in this letter, in this statement. What is next, though, for Brendan Sorsby? He can't become a free agent. There's zero way for him to go to the NFL in 2026. Zero chance. None. It's not going to happen. He also is going to have to figure out if there's a possibility for him to play this upcoming year. And what I mean by that is I'm hoping that he doesn't just try to jump back into college and file another lawsuit. I think that he needs to be smart enough to realize that this is acknowledging that if you try to do something like that, you're just trying to skirt accountability again, and the NFL might do whatever it can to keep you out of the league. That's a possibility. I feel like his best route is playing JUCO ball or NAIA football, something along those lines. Hunter Deckers did that, who got in trouble for a very similar thing. That's going to be his best option. Go under the radar, go play JUCO ball, see how it goes, and try to enter the NFL in 2027. But the problem is if they do not give him the chance to go to the supplemental draft, I find it hard to believe that somebody is going to take him in the 2027 NFL draft. We'll see what happens. Hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. We'll catch you later.